Welcome to our YouTube channel, where knowledge and spiritual freedom converge in the quest for wisdom. Today, we delve into a special document that brings to us 16 types of toxic personalities that the ancient Stoics advised us to steer clear of. These characters range from insincere flatterers with hidden agendas to the greedy ones captivated by material desires and the pursuit of wealth, and the envious who begrudge others' successes and possessions, all of whom can be detrimental to our personal growth. The document does not stop there. It also warns us against the arrogant, those with an exaggerated sense of self-importance and superiority, as well as the selfish, who consistently prioritize their own interests above everyone else's. In this video, we will explore these personalities, understand more about their dangers, and learn how to protect ourselves from the negative influences they might bring. Prepare your mind for a profound philosophical journey and join us in uncovering the secrets of mental freedom in the modern world. Disparaging, as categorized by Stoicism, are individuals whose actions and attitudes are marked by contempt and disdain towards others. These individuals often find fault in others, criticize them incessantly, and belittle their worth. Their behavior reflects a profound lack of empathy and a failure to recognize the inherent dignity and humanity in every individual. Stoic philosophy underscores the importance of treating all individuals with respect and kindness, irrespective of their circumstances or differences. It emphasizes that the act of disparaging others not only diminishes the person being criticized, but also erodes one's own moral character. Such behavior is viewed as contrary to the Stoic principles of virtue, wisdom, and compassion. From the Stoic perspective, embracing a mindset of empathy and understanding is essential for personal growth and harmonious relationships with others. It encourages us to rise above the urge to disparage and instead cultivate a sense of unity and shared humanity. Stoicism teaches that true wisdom lies in recognizing the value of every individual and extending goodwill to all, fostering a more compassionate and virtuous society. In conclusion, Stoicism reminds us to guard against the tendency to disparage others, urging us to prioritize empathy, respect, and the recognition of the intrinsic worth of every human being. It calls for a transformation of our attitudes towards others, fostering a world where kindness and understanding prevail over criticism and disdain. In the realm of Stoicism, there exists a category of individuals known as the vicious, and it is advised that we exercise caution and discernment when dealing with them. Vicious individuals are often recognized by their malicious and cruel nature, demonstrating a willingness to inflict harm upon others without remorse or empathy. The harm caused by the actions of the vicious extends beyond the physical realm. It includes emotional and psychological suffering as well. Their actions often create a toxic environment, fostering fear and mistrust among those they interact with. Their lack of empathy and compassion contributes to a world where kindness and understanding are scarce commodities. Stoic philosophy places a profound emphasis on compassion and inner strength. Stoics advocate for the rejection of harm and the cultivation of a virtuous character. They believe in responding to adversity and cruelty with resilience and kindness, rather than perpetuating the cycle of harm. From the Stoic perspective, it is essential to reject malicious behavior and instead embrace compassion as a guiding principle. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in our ability to respond to cruelty with empathy and to stand against harm while maintaining our own moral integrity. In conclusion, Stoicism reminds us of the importance of rejecting harm and cruelty, urging us to prioritize compassion and inner strength in our interactions with the world. It encourages us to cultivate a virtuous character that contributes to a more compassionate and harmonious society, even in the face of adversity. We encounter a group known as the unprincipled, and it is advised that we exercise caution in their presence. Unprincipled individuals are often marked by their absence of moral integrity and ethical standards. They navigate through life without a clear moral compass, often driven solely by self-interest and expediency. The unprincipled lack a solid foundation of virtue, leading to a lack of trustworthiness and predictability in their actions. Their behavior is characterized by inconsistency, as they may easily compromise their principles to achieve short-term gains. Stoic philosophy places great emphasis on ethical conduct and the cultivation of virtue as the true path to success. Stoics believe that a life well lived is one guided by principles of integrity, justice, and moral excellence. They encourage us to align our actions with these virtuous principles, even in the face of external pressures or temptations. From the Stoic perspective, true success is not measured by material wealth or fleeting pleasures, but by the quality of one's character and adherence to ethical principles. Stoicism teaches us that a life grounded in virtue is the most fulfilling and meaningful life one can lead. In conclusion, Stoicism reminds us of the importance of ethical conduct and moral integrity, urging us to avoid the pitfalls of unprincipled behavior. It encourages us to prioritize the virtues of integrity, justice, and ethical consistency as the true markers of success in life. In the realm of Stoicism, there exists a category of individuals known as the reckless, whom we are advised to exercise caution around. These individuals are often characterized by their impulsive and thoughtless behavior, displaying traits of rashness and an apparent indifference to the potential consequences of their actions. They frequently dive headfirst into situations without considering the ramifications or the unnecessary risks they entail. The recklessness of these individuals not only jeopardizes their own well-being, but also disrupts the serenity and harmony of their social environments. Their impulsive actions can lead to chaos, endangering not only themselves, but also those in their proximity. Their lack of self-control and forethought can result in harm to others and create an atmosphere of unpredictability. Stoic philosophy places a profound emphasis on prudence and self-control. Stoics advocate for the deliberate exercise of reason and discipline in all aspects of life. They believe that by restraining impulsive desires and carefully assessing the potential outcomes of our actions, we can steer clear of the pitfalls of recklessness. From the Stoic perspective, cultivating prudence and self-control is paramount for personal growth and the well-being of society. It empowers us to make deliberate and thoughtful choices, taking into account not only our own welfare, but also the welfare of those around us. Stoicism serves as a reminder to avoid recklessness and instead prioritize the virtues of prudence and self-discipline in our pursuit of a virtuous and purposeful life. In summary, Stoicism underscores the significance of prudence and self-control, urging us to eschew reckless behavior that can lead to adverse consequences for ourselves and others. It advocates for thoughtful and virtuous actions in our interactions with the world, fostering a life in alignment with Stoic principles. In the realm of Stoicism, there exists a category of individuals known as the manipulative, whom we are urged to be cautious of. These individuals are typically identified by their cunning and deceitful behavior, often driven by a relentless pursuit of personal gain. They manipulate situations and people to further their own interests, often at the expense of others' well-being and trust. The manipulative often resort to exploitation and deceit as tools to achieve their objectives, disregarding the principles of honesty, sincerity, and cooperation. They see the world as a battlefield where cunning and deception are valued above all else, leading to a fragmented and untrustworthy social environment. Stoic philosophy places a strong emphasis on sincerity, trustworthiness, and cooperation. Stoics believe that individuals should strive to embody these virtues in their interactions with others. They emphasize the importance of honesty and straightforwardness as essential components of a virtuous character. From the Stoic viewpoint, fostering sincerity and trust is crucial for personal growth and the well-being of society. It enables us to build genuine and meaningful relationships, fostering an environment of cooperation rather than manipulation. Stoicism teaches us to be cautious of manipulative behavior and to value sincerity and trust as essential virtues for a harmonious and virtuous life. In conclusion, Stoicism encourages us to be vigilant against manipulation, emphasizing the importance of honesty, trust, and cooperation as the foundations of virtuous living. It reminds us that manipulation and deceit, although tempting, ultimately lead to a fragmented and unfulfilling existence. Within the framework of Stoicism, there exists a group of individuals known as the cynical, whom we are advised to be cautious of. Cynical individuals are often characterized by their pessimistic outlook on life and a deep-seated distrust of the inherent goodness of others. They harbor skepticism and suspicion, often assuming that benevolence and sincerity are rarer qualities in human beings. This negative disposition not only affects their own happiness but also creates an atmosphere of distrust and cynicism in their interactions with others. The cynical individual often fails to recognize the potential for virtuous actions and sincerity in the world, leading to a self-fulfilling prophecy of negativity. Stoic philosophy, on the other hand, encourages us to maintain faith in virtue and sincerity. It teaches us to recognize that goodness exists within individuals and that acts of kindness and authenticity are not as scarce as cynics may believe. Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on our own moral character and striving to embody virtuous principles in our actions. From the Stoic perspective, maintaining faith in the inherent goodness of humanity is essential for personal growth and well-being. It allows us to foster trust in our interactions, build more positive relationships, and lead a life that aligns with the Stoic principles of virtue and wisdom. Stoicism reminds us that cynicism, while tempting, can be a self-defeating attitude that hinders our own happiness and the potential for positive change in the world. The insensitive. These individuals are often marked by their emotional detachment and an absence of empathy. They navigate through life with an inability to comprehend or connect with the feelings and experiences of others. This deficiency in empathy not only hampers their ability to form meaningful connections, but also results in a lack of compassion. Insensitive individuals are frequently oblivious to the emotional needs of those around them, leading to strained relationships and an overall lack of harmony in their interactions. Stoic philosophy places great emphasis on the cultivation of compassion and understanding. It teaches us to recognize the shared humanity in all individuals and to develop an awareness of the emotional experiences of others. Stoics encourage us to practice kindness, patience, and empathy in our interactions with fellow human beings. By doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious society. In the Stoic worldview, developing the ability to connect with the emotions and struggles of others is viewed as an essential aspect of personal growth and the pursuit of virtue. It is through understanding and compassion that we can foster deeper connections with those around us, build more fulfilling relationships, and ultimately lead a life that is in harmony with the principles of Stoicism. In the practice of Stoicism, stubbornness or rigidity is viewed as a significant barrier to personal growth and understanding. The stubborn person, characterized by their immutability and resistance to change, often creates limitations in their perspectives and actions. They are stuck in a fixed mindset, unwilling to recognize or accept new or different viewpoints. This inflexibility not only limits their ability to adapt to the changing world around them, but also reduces their capacity for interaction and cooperation with others. It creates an obstacle in learning, development, and in building meaningful relationships with others. From the Stoic perspective, adaptability and open-mindedness are essential qualities to be cultivated. The Stoics advise us to learn to adapt to circumstances, to embrace and explore new perspectives, They encourage us to continually expand our horizons and understanding rather than clinging to old views. Flexibility and open-mindedness not only help us to effectively face challenges, but also aid in building deeper relationships and positively contributing to our own development and that of the community. In the worldview of Stoicism, selfishness is seen as a trait to be avoided. Selfish individuals are often characterized by their lack of concern for others and a mindset focused solely on personal gain. They typically live in a narrow inner world, oblivious to the needs and feelings of those around them. This lack of consideration not only harms their relationships with others, but also reflects an unharmonious, discontented spirit. When a person focuses only on their own benefits without caring for others, they create an environment lacking in support and fraternal love, an environment that is contrary to the Stoic ideals of harmonious and compassionate living. According to the teachings of Stoicism, we are encouraged to develop a caring and sharing spirit. The Stoics emphasize the importance of mutual care and the cultivation of virtue. They advise us to learn to recognize and respond to the needs of others, creating a community where care and support are foundational. In this way, we not only develop ourselves but also contribute to a better society where each individual is cared for and valued. The arrogant. Arrogant individuals live with a mindset filled with self-importance, always believing they are superior and above others. They often view the world through a lens of self-aggrandizement, not welcoming opinions or criticism from others. Arrogance not only damages relationships with others, but also hinders personal growth. It creates a barrier, blocking understanding and genuine interaction with the outside world. The arrogant often fail to realize that their attitude is costing them opportunities to learn, develop, and become humble. According to Stoic teachings, cultivating humility and self-reflection is key to overcoming arrogance. The Stoics advise us to acknowledge and evaluate ourselves truthfully, thereby learning to accept and respect the opinions of others. They encourage us to focus on personal development through humility, recognizing that no one is perfect and everyone has something to learn from others. Through self-reflection and humility, we can break the boundaries of arrogance, broaden our perspectives, and move towards a life rich in understanding and genuine interaction. Third, self-pitying. They are characterized by a melancholic inner attitude, always perceiving themselves as victims of circumstances. Instead of seeking solutions or facing challenges, they indulge in feelings of self-doubt and disappointment with themselves. Wallowing in self-pity not only hinders personal development, but also negatively affects those around. It creates a vicious cycle of negativity and loss, preventing one from seeing the real opportunities and values in life. This habit also diminishes the ability to enjoy the small joys and true happiness. From the Stoic viewpoint, overcoming a mindset of self-pity requires embracing responsibility and finding inner strength. The Stoics advise us to recognize that we have the power to change our situation, not by blaming circumstances, but by changing our own perspectives and actions. They encourage us to learn to face challenges, realize our strengths, and seek satisfaction from within. Through this, we can overcome self-pity, develop resilience, and create a life full of meaning and happiness. In the philosophical education of Stoicism, we are guided to distance ourselves from a particular type of person, the chronic complainer. This individual is typically identified by a relentless habit of complaining, a sign of constant negativity and a victim mentality. They often see problems in every situation, incessantly grumbling about injustices, even when reality might not reflect this. The constant negativity and victim mentality of chronic complainers negatively impact not only themselves but also those around them. This creates an atmosphere of gloom and pessimism, diminishing the ability to enjoy joy and losing inner strength. Chronic complainers often fail to realize that their negative attitude is hindering personal growth and happiness. In the Stoic way of life, Overcoming the habit of complaining is an important step on the path to tranquility and happiness. The Stoics advise focusing on accepting circumstances, concentrating on the positive and solutions rather than problems. They encourage the development of gratitude, recognizing and appreciating the good in life. By doing so, we can abandon the attitude of complaining, seek satisfaction and mental freedom, and move towards a life of meaning and happiness. In the teachings of Stoicism, there is a type of individual we are advised to avoid: the chronically angry. These individuals are characterized by intense and frequent anger, a state of inner turmoil and conflict. They react strongly and often cannot control their emotions, losing their calm and hurting those around them. Anger not only has negative consequences for others, but also destroys the person harboring it. It corrodes the soul, impairs judgment, and creates a cycle of discord and loss. Anger diminishes the ability to experience happiness and reduces harmony in relationships. According to Stoic doctrine, managing anger requires a deep understanding of its nature and a continuous process of self-control. The Stoics advise us to recognize and accept our emotions, but not to let them overpower reason. They encourage the practice of restraint, compassion, and kindness to free oneself from the bonds of anger. Through self-control and understanding, we can learn to effectively confront anger, creating a balanced, harmonious, and meaningful life. In the quest for inner peace through the Stoic way of life, we encounter a type of person who impedes this path: the envious. The envious person can be depicted as a shadow of jealousy, constantly comparing themselves to others. They live in dissatisfaction, fixated on what they lack rather than appreciating what they possess. Envy profoundly affects their mindset and behavior. The envious often feel insecure and discontent, gazing at others with eyes full of jealousy. They easily lose focus on their own goals and values, instead spending their time comparing and envying the successes of others. This leads to a life filled with turmoil, imbalance, and a lack of self-awareness. From the Stoic perspective, confronting envy requires deep self-understanding and an internal process of self-healing. The Stoics advise focusing on personal development and finding satisfaction from within, rather than constantly comparing oneself to others. They encourage learning to accept oneself and one's circumstances, seeking tranquility in the small and true values of life. By doing so, we can liberate ourselves from the shackles of envy and move towards a life of meaning and contentment. In the universe of Stoicism, there exists a type of individual whom we are advised to consciously avoid: the greedy. These individuals are defined by a characteristic that is unmistakable: an unceasing greed, an uncontrolled craving for wealth and possessions, a desire that is never satisfied, perpetually chasing material gains without ever feeling content. For the greedy, there is no limit to wealth. There is never an end point to the accumulation of riches. They live in an endless cycle of desire and fulfillment, a cycle where happiness and tranquility are always out of reach. In this relentless pursuit, self, relationships, and moral values are often overlooked and sacrificed. From the Stoic perspective, greed is not just a flaw but a significant barrier to tranquility and contentment. The Stoics advise that we should seek satisfaction in the simple and essential aspects of life, rather than incessantly pursuing material things. They counsel us to learn to live in the abundance of the soul, content with what we have, and not let our own greed strip away the tranquility and true value of life. In our journey through life, Stoic philosophy has provided us with valuable advice on how to live a meaningful and ethical life. The 16 types of individuals that Stoicism advises us to avoid have been explored from this perspective, and we have learned a great deal from these insights. We have seen that how we interact with those around us profoundly impacts our lives. Flatterers, the greedy, the envious, the angry, complainers, and others can hinder our personal development and create a negative environment. Stoic philosophy sets a standard for life, a criterion based on ethics and wisdom. It encourages us to apply these principles to distance ourselves from negative attitudes and behaviors, and instead pursue fortitude, compassion, and faith in the value of humanity. Our journey is about personal growth and building a more virtuous community. Remember that we have the power to choose our way of life, and avoiding these types of individuals is the first step on the path to a meaningful and worthwhile life. Let us together appreciate the advice from Stoic philosophy and work towards a better future for ourselves and the world around us.